Our company is part of the Constellium Group, which employs more than 12,500 people and operates production facilities in Europe, America, and China. The plant in Levice was built in 2007. It has 2 production halls and 2 direct presses with a capacity of 44 meganewtons and employs approximately 160 people. The main activity of the company consists in the production of hot-formed aluminium profiles for customers in the automotive and construction industries. In addition, it provides solutions for transport or solar systems. Visitors enter the company's premises through a personal entrance with a turnstile from the outdoor car park, or enter the indoor car park through the loading bay and then proceed to the reception area. All car parks have a reverse parking rule, which means that all cars reverse into the parking space. In the event of an emergency, this measure allows for quick and easy exit from the plant site and minimizes potential collisions with other fleeing vehicles or persons. The basic obligation for visitors is to register, state their name, surname, the name of the company, if they represent one, and the time of arrival. After registration, visitors are given a chip card that entitles them to enter the common areas of the plant, which must be displayed in a visible place throughout the visit. The basic flow of material in the production areas operates on cranes. Therefore, movement in the plant is only possible with the use of personal protective equipment in the minimum range of reflective vest, protective helmet, and hard-toed work boots. Exposure to noise in production halls can exceed 85 decibels, so wearing hearing protection while inside is essential. Visitors to the production area shall only be accompanied by a Constellium employee and shall follow their instructions. Safety signs must be observed throughout the plant. Visitors are principally on green paths, which are so-called evacuation routes that are always clear and passable. Visitors are banned from photography and smoking throughout the premises, as well as from heights where feet are more than 1.5 meters above floor level. It is forbidden to touch moving machines as well as their parts and moving material. It is also important to move carefully in production halls due to possible slippery surfaces. When moving on stairs, it is necessary to hold onto the handrail with your hand. In the interior of production halls, there are hazards such as the movement of mobile equipment, hot surfaces, the movement and fall of crane loads, and the danger of running machinery or machine parts. The following rules apply to eliminate these hazards. In the case of mobile devices, the principle of a minimum safety distance of 5 meters applies. In the case of lifting equipment, it is forbidden to move under or dangerously close to suspended crane loads. As with mobile equipment, a safety distance of 5 meters must be observed. There are places where only designated personnel have access, such as electrical substations, transformers, or control stations, where the level of risk requires special qualification and authorization. In the event of entering the protected area of the machine, you must apply the dangerous energy disconnect system or, if the situation permits, use a designated door with an interlock system and use your personal lock to gain entry. The principle applies that each person entering uses their own lock. Persons with pacemakers are not allowed in the P2 production hall, where the machinery generates a strong electromagnetic field because of possible contraindications. In an emergency situation, evacuation sirens will be sounded in the affected areas. In this case, it is necessary to wait a few seconds for the accompanying information in order to rule out a possible drill alarm or system malfunction. If this does not happen, immediate evacuation towards the nearest emergency exit is required. The assembly point is designated on the concrete area between the production halls. In the event of a fire, if the situation permits, wall-mounted hydrants may be used for effective fire suppression. These hydrants are suitable for extinguishing flammable substances and objects that can be extinguished with water. Electrical equipment under power shall be extinguished by powder extinguishers, which are distributed throughout the plant area. In the event of health problems such as severe unconsciousness associated with cardiac arrest, it is possible to use an automatic defibrillator, which is located in each production hall. At the end of the visit, the personal protective equipment shall be returned to the place from where it was borrowed, and the visit shall be signed out of the record book on departure. The same briefing and rules apply to contractors as to visitors. In particular, the following rules change and extend the obligations of contractors. When entering through the reception or loading bay, each contractor registers in the visitor and contractor registration system and receives a chip card. Contractors are required to use their own personal protective equipment with a minimum of a reflective vest, protective helmet and hard-toed work boots. Contractors need only wear a reflective vest when moving or performing activities outdoors. If the contractor plans to bring any chemicals onto the Constellium site, it is essential to report this in advance. Material safety data sheets for the chemical or preparation must be sent in advance so that it can be assessed and approved. The purpose is to avoid substances which, by their properties, could pose an increased hazard to employees or are prohibited from use altogether. This requirement applies in particular to substances with hazardous properties. If waste is generated during the contractor's work, this must be reported to the contact person so that it can be properly labeled or temporarily stored and subsequently disposed of adequately in accordance with the legislation. For the work of contractors, a general work permit is processed, which guarantees that all work carried out is approved, has been assessed in terms of the activities carried out with the associated risks. The document clearly defines all measures to eliminate or reduce the associated risks to an acceptable level. Specific rules apply to work carried out at heights, in confined spaces, and in areas associated with hot work practices where sparks or large amounts of heat are generated with the potential to cause a fire. These rules are not covered in this briefing.